full time and it's finished in a quite bonkers game. Watford 2, Birmingham City 0. Got the pre-match scoreline prediction bang on. Got one of the goal scorers bang on. Mileta Rajovic with another goal and a goal for my championship fantasy team. You love to see it. You love to see that result. And just, yeah, as I say, a bonkers game. This is why we love football. The beautiful game. Those last minute limbs. I mean, just so much to talk about from that game. It was frustrating. There was times where, you know, even towards the end, in the 82nd minute, you had people in our stand starting to give up hope and losing patience and basically saying, oh, Watford what are we doing? The manager needs to change it. It's an absolute mess. There's no urgency. There's no passing forward. And funnily enough, Watford made a substitution. On comes Ryan Andrews. Off goes Jeremy Ngakia. And Ngakia, I thought it was good to see him start today. But I thought that was a weird substitution. When we were chasing a game, it was around the 87th minute, 0-0. And you think, why have we done a like-for-like change? So Watford tweeted out that substitution. I replied to that tweet saying, will that substitution make a difference? It seems a bit of a, you know, I can't remember what the exact words were, but I said, will that substitution be any of any use, or what will that substitution do? So, as if to say, yeah, okay, we've made that sub, but will it have an impact? I think is the word I said. And the answer to that is very much so. Watford quoted my tweet saying, yeah, there was enough of an impact from that sub. It did make a difference. It was worth it, the sub, because Ryan Andrews, he's one of our own. What a moment for him to get his first Watford goal. Absolute limbs. And to see that goal go in, he races over, knee slide celebration. And the goal before that from Mileta Rajovic, who is an absolute goal machine. What a header, leapt like a salmon. And then him celebrating that first goal with the crowd, you know, jumping in the crowd. I mean, it's what you love to see. Football at its finest. So yeah, it was an incredible game. Really, it was a frustrating game up till that, and the patience of those Watford fans was tested right to the end, to the very death, really. So yeah, the game started off, obviously a bit of controversy about the referee today, Keith Stroud, who, you know, some people remarking the fact he's a Luton fan, so weird one from the EFL, but fair enough. And the first couple of decisions went fair enough. Like, he made some good calls with free kicks that really, you know, there was a yellow card that was a bit dirty from one of the Birmingham players, just hacking down Tom Dele-Bashiru, who, to be fair, in the first half, I thought drove into space really well, had a good performance. He was subbed off, which I felt was a bit harsh towards the end, but fair enough, fresh legs. Asprilla came on and really did look good. Also did Chakvadadze, he looked good, as he always does off the bench. But generally, yeah, there was a few bad challenges from Birmingham City, trying to break up our momentum, and a few good decisions from the referee. But as the game went on, I've got to say, I thought Keith Stroud's decisions looked more and more questionable as the game went on. There were some odd ones where he gave free kicks to Birmingham City when there was just no foul at all from the Watford player. And if anything, I think there was one on Andrews that looked really harsh. It looked like a foul on Andrews, and they gave a Birmingham City free kick. So you thought, nah, you know, he's got an orange shirt on. He's clearly, you know, with his allegiances of Luton there. And Luton, of course, playing today, also lost. So, the perfect Saturday. We had Richarlison, former Watford player, score a late equaliser for Spurs. We had Pedro score up at Manchester United. It was just a perfect Saturday. But no, we'll get to that. So, ultimately, yeah, very frustrating first half. There was just not enough conviction, not enough momentum and tempo in our passing, and you just felt it was going to be one of those days. You know, Birmingham City very, very much struggling to create many chances. They had a couple, one really good shot, but ultimately that key moment in the second half was that double save from Daniel Bachmann. What an incredible piece of goal kicking. And we did slate Bachmann before that in the game for him playing out from the back, and it was just incredibly hard to watch with Watford doing this in their attacking 4-3-3. It is just very, very, very risky. And sometimes Bachmann does, when he plays out from the back, literally leave it to the last second to let go of the ball, and you think, oh, we're going to concede from this. Luckily, we got away with it. And at times we did, to be fair, play through the press quite well. A couple of times it actually did lead to our attacks. So that's exciting football. But yeah, we're not Man City, right? So we're not going to be successful at it every week, as we saw with the own goal that Wesley Hoot scored last week up at Coventry. So, up at Coventry, defensively, we looked a bit all over the place. I thought we looked a much better, solid unit today. But it was nervy when it came to playing around the back. As I say, Birmingham City didn't have too many chances, but I think that was much to our, defensive credit. We stayed compact as a unit at the back and limited them to not too many chances. But as I say, great moment from Bachmann. Really amazing double save. And the second one was so brave because I think he had to really, come out and put his body on the line and really spread himself. So a fantastic piece of goalkeeping. That was a big moment in the game. Swing towards our favour, but generally, second half the performance was much better, but we stepped it up as a general point, and Watford really were on top for a lot of the game. Looked like it was a game that was going to, a bit drift away from us really, because we were on the ball, had the better chances, had a lot more of the possession, but we just weren't really looking clinical or testing enough to really carve out that winning moment. And it was a frustrating game, as I say. There was a lot of sideways passing, a lot of wayward passing, a few passes that were hit too short, but as I said, we grew into the game. We deserved the 3 points, and we got it. And incredible, really, that first goal from the Hornets, a lovely cross out. As I say, Asprilla made a fantastic impact off the bench. Once again, Yasser Asprilla, at 18 years of age or 19 years of age, he is really, the world is an oyster, because he looks a fantastic footballer and always makes an impact off the bench. So really love him, but it's really hard to fit a space in the team. I mean, as I say, Tom Daly-Bashir had a good game. We've got sometimes Ince playing. Ultimately we have Asprilla as an option. I didn't think Ince looked great today, I'll be honest. Didn't quite impact things as well as he did against Coventry, where he was driving at opposition defences and, set up the goal for Rajovic in that Coventry game. But today, not quite as fast. And also on that other flank on the left-hand side, I thought Mateus Martins had an okay game, but didn't quite affect the game as he usually does. Often quite good dribbling, but just maybe a bit of overplaying, not quite. But, had a few shots and things like that. So, look, ultimately, as I say, Asprilla, fantastic delivery for that cross from the right-hand side for Watford. And what a header. Just leapt like a salmon. Rajovic, we know that he's that kind of striker. He said it before. His own words were, the penalty box is his office. And I tell you, he can stay in that office and get that work done and keep on, get him a promotion in that office, because I absolutely love the guy. The Great Dane. People talking about, can Rajovic keep this up? Well, I think he certainly well can. Fantastic for my Championship fantasy team. Brought him in this week as well. So, and I actually brought him in for Bayo, who Vacuum Bayo didn't actually play today, wasn't even in the squad. So, perfect fantasy football management from me. But yeah, no, generally, I love the guy, Rajovic. I'm an ultimate fan, and I'm already in love. I don't know if he's a loan signing, sorry. If he is, then you know what they say, don't love a loan signing. But, if it does go well for Rajovic at Watford, I would love to see him in the Premier League. That classic 6'3", hard for defenders to go up against kind of striker. I know that's jumping the gun a little bit. Obviously, we haven't got any, thoughts of promotion just yet. But I'm just saying, an outside shout at the playoffs, if we can really keep up this momentum of performance. We know that the performances have been good, right? But it's about now going on a run of winning games, and hopefully with a really good feel-good game like that, even though we didn't play well, there were some problems there, a few teething issues, but to end the game as we did, and to actually, even after going 1-0 up and then 2-0 up, we looked hungry for the more goals, and we were, fighting every chance. And that's great to see, that passion that Valérien Ismaël's given to the squad. So really, really happy for Valérien Ismaël and for Rajovic on his first home start to get that goal. Really, really nice. So yeah, look, ultimately the second goal, also a fantastic moment. And Ryan Andrews, look, the tweet is ironic, obviously, you know, I wouldn't have known that back then it was a like-for-like change. Ngakia had an okay game. Andrews comes on, you think, oh, what is that really going to do to affect the game at 0-0? He comes on, and then, of course, he gets his moment. And, yeah, it was just a great moment. I mean, he did take a deflection, I think, the shot. Quite a hefty deflection, which wrong-footed John Ruddy in the Birmingham City goal. Whether or not it deflected off Ruddy or one of the Birmingham defenders or even maybe one of the Watford players, I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it was going down as Andrews' goal. And yeah, just so happy for him. The joy on his face when that went in, the knee slide, it was just absolute limbs. So yeah, it's not often you score 2 goals in injury time to win a game. It was something like the 91st, 92nd minute and then the 97th minute. Incredible. And we actually saw that for the Tottenham victory over Sheffield United today. 2 injury time goals from Richarlison and Kulusevski. But look, it's great when you see it in the flesh, and what a atmosphere. I've got to say, first few minutes of the game, even before anything really happened, the atmosphere at Vicarage Road was bouncing, and I'm so happy that we've got that feel-good win back with a victory, because we have, as I say, deserved it with the performances, just not quite held out. You know, certainly Coventry, we should have won out that game and we just couldn't hold on. So it's good to see a bit of game management. We saw out the clean sheet as well. Nice to get a clean sheet after it's been a little while of not doing that. So yeah, our first win since the opening day against QPR, but as I say, the performances have warranted more wins and it's just not quite happened for us. So I don't know where that leaves us in the table. We were 18th before today. I think Birmingham City actually were doing really well, as I mentioned in the preview, and sitting, you know, mid-table-ish, kind of high mid-table, maybe 6th or 7th. So to get that win is an impressive result, and really good one for the boys. But obviously Birmingham City, there was a factor. I mean, whether or not their sending off did mean that there was a big swing in the end, but I don't think that really did make a difference. It was more just Watford going for it at the end. But yeah, it was a sending off. I'm not quite sure who got the 2 yellows, but it was a clumsy one really on a yellow card. Very, very poor decision to make there. So the right decision from the referee, but ultimately we've got to love that. We've just got to love that, every minute of it. Drink it in, and hopefully next week against a West Brom side that, to be honest, like, they've not been absolutely shooting up houses. You know, they did lose recently to Huddersfield, so maybe a game that we can, you know, get another win, keep that home winning run going in the midweek match against West Brom. So hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on the video if you have, for that unbelievable matchday vlog. And I'd just like to end the video with 2 things. Firstly, happy birthday, Graham. I'm sure that would be a game he would have really looked down on fondly. And secondly, Graham Taylor, of course, Watford's greatest ever manager. But secondly, my thoughts go out to those in Morocco with the recent earthquake. I mean, it's absolutely horrendous. And yeah, it was a nice touch from Watford to have that minute silence. So I'd just like to say everyone connected to there, you know, the best of safety. And I hope that, you know, everyone, I'm, you know, praying for everyone that they get out of that. If they're involved, as much as they can, you know, safe and sound. So yeah, just ending on that, on an interesting thought for those involved. But going back to the football, fantastic game, fantastic day out. What a time to be a Watford fan. Obviously, we're not going to get carried away. We do know this is still a process. This is still a project under Valérien Ismaël. And it could well be that we don't get promoted this season, because there is still a long way to go for us to be a Premier League side. But what I will say is the vibe around the club is much better than it has been in recent seasons. So we like to see that. Man of the match today, I don't know. It's tempting to give it to Ryan Andrews, but he did only just come on and score the goal. So I've got to give it to Rajovic. I think 2 games now he started, 3 goals, and it was, okay, maybe not the best performance from Rajovic before the goal, because he was struggling to kind of get into the game and hold off the players. But I'm just so impressed by him. You know, that header, he leapt like a salmon. So well done, Mileta, Rajovic. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.